With the dreamy eclipse in Pisces in the middle of September and Venus in the sign of rulership, Libra, love is bound to bloom. Let's take a look at the month of September through the lens of love and break it down for all 12 signs. My name is Anastasia. I'm a traditional Western astrologer specializing in natal, relationship, and predictive readings. I work with tropical zodiac and whole sign house system, in case you were wondering. If you enjoy my work and you want to support me, please leave me a like or a comment, subscribe, press the notification bell, watch another one of my videos, or say thank you by buying me a coffee, a tea, a croissant. There's a variety of options. I appreciate you, even if you're just sending me happy thoughts, that counts too. Before we dive in, if you're looking for a personal reading, you have questions you'd like answered, you want me to look at your chart and be as specific as possible, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. There is a variety of options, different durations, different types of readings. I primarily do natal, relationship, and predictive readings, but I can also help you choose the date for your wedding, a date to start a business, and anything else. Check out Anastasia Does Astrology for that. Additionally, on my website, you can find a variety of candles and oils I create. We are talking about love, and I'd like to highlight two of my Venusian creations, starting with Venus in Libra 2. This one captures the energy of goddess of love in her home sign. Very potent, very romantic. Venus in Libra is very flirtatious. She has a strong sense of self-worth. She's able to attract and charm and flirt without necessarily getting too attached. So this is beautiful for charm, diplomacy, ease, compromise, and happy relationships. Highly recommended for anyone with their ascendant or Venus in an air or fire sign. Those are Gemini, Aquarius, Sagittarius, Aries, Leo, and who am I forgetting? Libra. If you are Venus in Libra, it can help you too. Venus in Pisces has a different vibe. She's very sensitive, very romantic, very sort of in the moment, flowy. She's attached, but she's not attached. She's like, she can help you really get inspired, really connect on sort of like a soulful, deep level. Venus in Libra can have a little bit of like playful, detached energy. This is anything but. She's very like inspired. And this is a great choice for water, earth, Venus, and rising sign. And those are Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. This is my choice for you. Thank you for listening. You can find all of these on my website. I try to create candles and oils to help. I start by helping myself, and then the goal is always to share what I'm working on with you guys. So I'm going to highlight a few dates specifically connected to Mars and Venus. Venus rules attraction. Mars represents more desire and sort of animalistic sexual energy in us. September 3rd, Mars will square Neptune. And this can be a little bit disappointing. This is literally sort of like the energy of like impotence or some type of like disappointment, low energy, disillusionment. So perhaps watch out for making decisions at this time. It's not the best sort of moment to follow your hunches because they're likely to be perhaps incorrect. September 4th, Mars enters Cancer. This one is interesting. We're going to have Mars in Cancer on and off until April 18th. It's like we're entering a major storyline with Mars in Cancer. And Mars in Cancer, when it comes to romance, it's very commitment oriented. It's all about loyalty and long-term relationships. It enjoys sex and intimacy the most when it's with the person we love. So you may notice that for the next 8 months, you're less interested in just sort of casual connections. It might also suggest that you're a bit more moodier and a bit more like energetically, libido, all of that can go up and down a bit. September 15th, really beautiful Venus, the planet of love, trines Jupiter. Very like beautiful energy to go on a date if you're single, lovely even if you're not. celebrate my birthday on September 15th. But it's really like really nice, great for socializing, great for dating, great for networking, business, anything. But since we're talking about love, it's likely to be the day when you get presents and you feel cheerful, feel happy, and give it always, as always, give it a couple of days on each side. September 17th, we have the beautiful big eclipse. We have the lunar eclipse in Pisces. 25 degrees, 40 minutes Pisces. This will be most romantic for Scorpio risings and Virgo risings, because for you guys, it's hitting 5th and 7th houses. But for many of us, it conjoins Neptune. There's a bit of a dreamy, idealistic, like spiritual connection type energy, but could also suggest that we are maybe separating facts from fiction. So just beware of like taking action on the eclipse, right? Or like, as always, when we are in the middle of the eclipse season, it is best to let the season pass before you act on the truths that have been revealed to you during the eclipse. September 22nd, we get a major shift, and it's interesting because most of the month until September 22nd, Venus is in Libra. She's in her home sign in Libra. She's playful, she's charming, she's unattached, right? Unattached? Not attached? She's unattached. She's just enjoying herself. She's flirting, she's going out, she has a multitude of suitors. She's like, you know, the girl is having a good time. Let her be. But then at the end of the transit between like September 20th, 22nd, she's going to square Pluto. And so some type of tension, some type of like power struggles, relationship truths, secrets coming to light, jealousy, insecurity might come up and reveal that behind that playful front, there is a deep wound or fear or insecurity. And then immediately Venus enters Scorpio to stay until October 17th. And so I think we shift from that place of like, let's just play around, to a bit more, I want the truth. I want to know all of you. I want to know all of your secrets. I understand that love is pain sometimes and love is pleasure, and those are intertwined. So we start to feel a lot more passionate and truthful in our relationships. So these are the main dates. If you're looking for like a personal consultation, you want me to look at your chart, tell you what I see in terms of love, what your challenges, what your gifts are, where are you likely to meet your significant other, when you're likely to meet them, or you want me to look at your compatibility, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. If you feel like August has shaken you up and brought a lot of tests, definitely pick up my Venus in Libra 2 or Exalted Venus candle. I think I may have called it Venus in Pisces because that's what it is, but Venus in Pisces is exalted, so it's tomato. But definitely pick one up because it could be helpful in terms of navigating those transits. So let's dive into the rising sign and give you some clues on what you might expect. If you are an Aries rising, you are Mars ruled, your partner is Venus ruled because your 7th house is Libra. And there is a lot of action in Libra this month. We have Venus in Libra until September 22nd. Mercury comes in at the end of the month. Sun comes in on the 22nd of September, stays until October 22nd. And then there's an eclipse in Libra in early October. So your focus is very heavily on relationships right now. Venus being in the 7th house is like your partner being in their domain. Like if you're in a relationship, the partner is maybe taking action and being extra social and being extra charming, and maybe they're focused on creating beauty and accord, and maybe you're moving a relationship forward. It's like a very sort of jubilant, joyful energy there. If you're single, this is beautiful for attracting someone. Venus in her home sign, in the sign of relationships, put yourself out there. If you're like looking, which I would assume if you're single, you probably are. Why would you be watching this video otherwise? But it's like once a year you get Venus in your 7th house, and this is that period from August 29th until September 22nd. It is your time to go out. It is your time to be visible, to shine, to go on dates. You're more likely at this time to attract someone who fits your needs, who is beautiful and charming. But you're also undergoing this sense of like dissolution of what you believe is good for you. We're getting the eclipse in Pisces in your 12th house on September 17th. You're maybe having to deal with some kind of past wounds, past challenges, even like past loves coming into your periphery, and like feelings you maybe are still holding on to. Because with the South Node in your 7th house, and it has been in your 7th house since July 2023, your vision of a perfect relationship has likely changed. What you thought you wanted might not necessarily be what's good for you. So with Venus here, South Node here, you're like getting, and the eclipse in the 12th house, you're getting a chance to release something. And the eclipse is interesting because the eclipse is happening in Pisces, and Pisces is the sign of exaltation of Venus. So it's it's ruled by Jupiter, but it's like in the sign of exaltation. And it's also right around the time as Venus trines Jupiter in your 3rd house. So I think like it's interesting because there is some sort of like shift of perspective in relationships, and if you're single, in terms of your vision of relationships. September 15th can actually bring some opportunities for like maybe a short trip with your significant other, maybe a fun date in the neighborhood when you go out and discover a new sushi restaurant or some kind of like fun place. Maybe you're double dating around this time. It's a great time to go out there. It's also an opportunity to maybe start a business or partner up with someone with your significant other. And then if you're single, September 15th, 3 days before, 3 days after, you may meet someone through a sibling, through a neighbor. If a neighbor is throwing a party, definitely go if you're looking. Someone you meet in your neighborhood at your local coffee shop, or someone you might even meet online, or someone you meet like in line while waiting for something. Your ruler, Mars, is entering Cancer. It will be there for a while, but this first round is from September 4th until November 3rd. So this is a bit challenging because it's your chart ruler going in the sign of its fall in the 4th house. So it might suggest that you are going to deal with some kind of difficulties involving home living situation, family, that there may be some action you need to take. On one hand, it feels like maybe you are being like a mama bear, protecting your children, your family members, but at the same time, because it's like Mars in the house of comfort and security, there's some battles that are like happening underneath, involving children, involving family, that are maybe feeling like weighing heavy on your mind if you're moving or renovating. And like even, fights with a significant other if you are in a relationship around like living situation, home, family, kids, all of that kind of stuff is also possible. On September 22nd until October 17th, Venus will be in Scorpio, your 8th house. So Venus ruling your house of relationships, your partner going in the 8th house might suggest that the partner is dealing with some kind of financial concerns. They're maybe in a situation where things feel a little bit uncertain. There may be some kind of ups and downs with their finances or in their professional life. It might suggest that they have to sort of withdraw for a little bit. Let's say if you're just starting to date someone, them going into the 8th house might suggest that they're like experiencing a bit of a challenging time. They're also going in the sign of their detriment, which might suggest, once again, some kind of like concerns. And if you're single, Venus entering the 8th house might suggest that you're more likely to meet the partner through like a spiritual retreat, or they could be your accountant, or you meet them at the emergency room, or through some kind of like money, energies, exchange, or some type of like sudden event, surprising event. If you're looking for a personal take on your chart, you'd like guidance on when, how, and where you might meet your significant other, or you'd like my advice on your relationship, book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com. The beautiful Taurus rising, you are Venus, your partner is Mars. So Venus starts off in Libra from August 29th until September 22nd. She's in Libra, your 6th house. And you are likely focusing on work, health, your pets maybe are occupying your mind, service to other people. On the 15th of September, Venus trines Jupiter in your 2nd house. So you are like working on something and you're finding a lot of pleasure right now in working on something. You might actually be also going out with your colleagues a little bit more, and maybe if single, you feel attracted to a colleague or someone you work with or someone who like works around you in your periphery. And then if you're in a relationship, this could be a period in which you show love through very much practical gestures, acts of service, by taking care of your partner, taking care of their laundry and bills and groceries and stuff like that. On September 4th, Mars enters Cancer. So this is your partner. Third house, your third house will stay here until November 3rd. Mars will stay in Cancer for a while. It will come back in January. It's going to retrograde from Leo into Cancer. So it's kind of a long storyline. But because Mars rules your partner and it enters Cancer, the third house, it might suggest that the partner is dealing with some type of, like maybe they have to learn something. Maybe they're studying and they need to take some exams, and maybe they're feeling like their schedule is like really busy. There's a lot going on and a lot of challenging intellectual projects. It could also suggest that they are traveling more. They need to go on short trips. Mars is in its fall in Cancer, and so your partner going, your partner, 7th house, Scorpio, being ruled by Mars is the partner, going into the sign of the fall might also suggest that for the next 2 months your partner might feel like they're struggling, kind of juggle all of the things. And if you're single, maybe that also suggests that if you're meeting people right now, they might be like in a place in their life where lots is going on. I do quite like the fact that, until September 22nd, the sun is in Virgo, and there's a new moon in Virgo on September 2nd. It's your 5th house of romance, pleasure, children. So it's a beautiful time to be starting new things. It's a beautiful time to put yourself out there, to go out, to even explore your passions and interests, and maybe you meet someone through connecting with them and having similar interests. It's also the house of children. So for some of you, you might be conceiving right now or giving birth, right? Like some kind of new beginnings in terms of parenthood are likely. Maybe new beginnings in your relationship, making it more official, making it more solid is another possibility here. And then that continues with Venus entering Scorpio, your 7th house, from September 22nd until October 17th. And you are Venus, so you will be in the house of relationships. Your focus is on relationships, on dating, going out more, putting yourself out there if single. If in a relationship, you're more focused on your partner, trying to connect with them more. Maybe their concerns kind of take front and center and you like care about them. Spend more time together. Watch out because it's Venus in detriment. Highly recommend my Exalted Venus candle for helping with Venus in detriment. Watch out for just sort of losing yourself in the relationship and forgetting about your personal goals because you're so focused on what the partner is doing. Because Venus in Scorpio is not just in detriment, she's also ruled by Mars. So that period between September 22nd, October 17th, you might just be like so obsessed with what your partner is doing, you forget to take care of yourself. And if you're single, this could be like some sort of crush, like you get so invested in someone and all your thoughts go towards them while you don't know the person yet, right? Like you just fall in love with them based on something. There's a lunar eclipse in Pisces on September 17th. This could be romantic, but it can also be maybe more connected to your dreams changing, potentially in connection to what's happening in your relationships or in the life of your child, because the lunar eclipse opposes the sun in the 5th house, and that suggests that there are developments involving romance, involving pregnancy, children that are affecting your vision of the future and also your friendships and your role in the world. So everything sort of gets tied in together with that. Please share how it resonates. If you're looking for more, book a reading on my website, Anastasia.astrology.com. I'd be happy to look at your natal chart, talk about your relationship or your year to come. If you are a Gemini rising, Gemini is ruled by Mercury, so you are Mercury, and your 7th house, Sagittarius, is ruled by Jupiter, so your partner is Jupiter. Jupiter is in your 1st house from May 25th until June 9th, 2025. So the ruler of the 7th house is in the 1st house, and you will hear me say this every time, but in terms of your partner right now, they are right around you. So if you're single, this is a suggestion that the partner is more likely to be where you are. If you go and take mountain climbing classes because you always do it, if you go dancing, or you're reading a book by the local pool, or you go to the beach, they're more likely to be in the same spot, and they're more likely to approach you. This is like a year in which they're more likely to come to you. And if you are in a relationship, this could also be a period where the partner is just like in your face all the time. They're like, you're the most beautiful, you're the most charming, you. So they're like a lot more taken by you. And you, being Mercury, you have just finished the retrograde between the 3rd and 4th houses. So you may have felt a little bit confused in general, right? You may have had to deal with some home, family matters, some logistical issues. And early in the month, you're still finishing it up. Like Mercury is direct in the 3rd house, and maybe you're spending time with siblings, maybe you're having to have some kind of conversations, deal with like technology, update your home, figure out where you live. So you're like very much in this mindset of like figuring things out. Just a second, I think I'm showing the wrong date. I don't know why it says, yeah, it's wrong. So I had October 21st, and I'm like, no way I would put October in here. So between September 9th and September 26th, you, Mercury, is in Virgo, 4th house. You are empowered. You feel like yourself. You, once again, also are in the sign that rules Jupiter, your relationship planet. So it's like another indicator that you are empowered to do things that make you happy, and focus on that, and then the relationship will come. On October, see, it says 10 and I'm saying October. On September 21st, Mercury, you will square Jupiter in the 1st house. So you will square the partner. So there might be some kind of disagreement between you and your partner around September 21st. Maybe you're disagreeing about where to live. Maybe you have different ideas on what to do with your home or family. You might be disagreeing sort of about what your family is doing. If you're single, don't worry about it as much, but the conflict might still show up with your like placeholder partner, right? Oftentimes we have like other characters in our life who play roles of our significant others, like a nanny, a mother, work spouse, boss, etc. So September 21st might be a bit rough. You also have quite a lovely energy this month with Venus being in Libra, your 5th house of romance, pleasure, and children, from August 29th until September 22nd. And this could be quite encouraging romantically. Venus is in her joy in the 5th house. She's in rulership in Libra. So she has the power to manifest and bring you your heart's desires. So go out, schedule some dates, have a good time. September 15th is really nice for that because Venus trines Jupiter in the 1st. So for singles, definitely great time to go out. If you're in a relationship, it might just help your relationship. And similarly, you know, from September 26th until October 13th, Mercury will be in Libra too. So it's another kind of focus on, you're maybe more driven to date people who are chatty and talkative and very intelligent. You're more likely to meet them at like trivia nights or some kind of get-togethers where you have to use your brain, your brain power. On September 22nd until October 17th, Venus enters Scorpio, your 6th house, and you are more likely to become more practical about love and relationships. maybe show love and affection through practical gestures by helping your partner. And if single, you're more likely to meet them at a work event, or they could be your colleague as well. And then the lunar eclipse in Pisces on September 17th highlights your 10th house. And this could represent professional changes for sure, but because 10th house is so closely connected to the 4th, your status, your reputation, what you're known for, it can also represent that there is some type of transformation of your public status. And that could be connected to marriage, engagement, parenthood, and a lot of kind of like personal relationship things as well. Those are the main things I wanted to mention. If you're looking for a personal reading, you want to know what's coming up for you personally and what your chart has to say about love, or you're curious to talk to me about your compatibility, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. For the lovely Cancer risings, you are the moon, your partner is Saturn, right? You are Cancer ruled by the moon. The house opposite 7th house, house of relationships, is Capricorn ruled by Saturn. So we've been saying that Saturn is currently in your 7th house. And so, Saturn, the ruler of the 7th house, is currently in the 9th house. And so either the partner is far away, maybe they're in a foreign land, or the partner is coming through the sector of education. Maybe they're coming through a foreign place, or just your mind is so set right now on education, travel, foreign lands, that you're more likely to meet someone through those kind of events and activities. So early this month, Venus is in Libra, your 4th house. Venus is always connected to love, so we're going to talk about Venus. Her being in the 4th might suggest that you're choosing to spend more time at home instead of going out. If you're in a relationship, you're just hanging out and watching movies and sort of having a good quiet time indoors. If you're single, you're more likely to meet someone at house parties, get-togethers with family. Maybe it's someone from your hometown that you're reconnecting with. September 15th is especially nice because Venus will trine Jupiter in the 12th house. Once again, some kind of energy of like a foreign person or someone from like a faraway place, faraway land, maybe. From September 4th until November 3rd, Mars will be in Cancer, your 1st house. It should give you a little bit more energy, but it might suggest that your energy is not consistent. There are ups and downs energetically. Mars is in its fall in Cancer, so watch out for being passive aggressive and sort of like, let's say you're dating someone and they upset you and you don't express it and you suppress it, let it build, and then it explodes and the partner is like, what? Where did this come from? So for the next couple of months, and then again when Mars is retrograde from January until April, you really want to be careful with how you express frustration, and you want to make sure you're not suppressing it, but you're letting it out in healthy ways. The big thing that happens also is Pluto comes back to Capricorn, your 7th house, and will be here for the final 2.5 months, from September 1st until November 19th. And this is the end of the major chapter that you've been in since 2008. Major empowerment in relationships. You may notice when Pluto is in Capricorn that you still have some final sort of relationship lessons to learn. Maybe an ex shows up in your life, or you remember something, or maybe a situation in a relationship presents itself where you have to assert yourself, you have to speak up for yourself and really take charge and sort of ask what is important to you. So Pluto for the next like 2.5 months might bring back up the lessons you've been learning romantically since 2008 and offer you a chance to celebrate the progress, and also maybe put some finishing touches and speak up, express something in relationship, and just find the power, right? In whatever situation you're in. If you're single, feel happy with yourself. If you're in a relationship, there's a chance to, I think, be honest. Venus will enter Scorpio and will be here from September 22nd until October 17th. This is Venus in her joy in the 5th house of romance, pleasure, sex, children. You're maybe making babies, you're having more sex, you're enjoying yourself, you're feeling sort of steamy, passionate, very Venus and Scorpio, very like, good at magnetizing the objects of your desire into your net like a spider. It turned from some kind of Magneto character to a spider. But you're like a magical woman or man who like draws the partner towards them. So great for, if you're single, it can help you attract someone. And if you're in a relationship, you will just enjoy more like good times. And the eclipse in Pisces on September 17th brings big developments involving education, travel, writing, legal matters. So in terms of travel, it could suggest that maybe you are relocating. And if you are, it will offer you opportunities to either move with your significant other or open you up to meeting someone who is that foreign person. Like we've been talking about, some kind of like foreign person, someone who's like an educator, someone who's like very intelligent, someone who can teach you things. So that could be interesting. It can also suggest on a deeper level together, if we look at like Pluto in the 7th house and the eclipse in the 9th house, it could suggest that something in your beliefs is changing, right? And maybe it's about relationships. Maybe it's about you learning to like stand on your own and not lose yourself in a relationship and having better boundaries. There's like a lot of, I think, interesting developments with this eclipse. Please share how it resonates. If you're looking for more, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. For the lovely Leo risings, you are the sun, the bright solar character. You're ruled by the sun. Your 7th house is Aquarius. Traditionally, Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, so your partner is Saturn. Early in the month, well, like the first 3 weeks of the month, the sun is in Virgo, 2nd house, so you are money focused. You're focused on your resources. You're figuring out what's important to you. You're taking action. There's a new moon here. You're like all very much like engrossed and figuring out how to improve your finances, how to be in a better position. And then from September 22nd until October 22nd, the sun is in Libra, 3rd house, which suggests that you are maybe more focused on going out and having fun and investing into your skills, starting a business, starting a blog, starting sort of passion projects that allow you to communicate, express your beliefs, speak up for things that matter to you. Saturn, the partner, is currently in Pisces, your 8th house, together with Neptune. And Saturn being in the 8th house, it's a long story. Saturn has been in the 8th house since March 2023 and will be there until February 2026. That just suggests that maybe your partner is going through some type of like transformative life event. Maybe they are as focused on money as you are until September 22nd. Maybe they're focused on your finances together and they're just sort of like, you keep coming to them and they're like, we got to figure out our financial situation. We got to put our heads together, put our resources together, la, la, la. And if you're single, Saturn being in Pisces, the 8th house might also suggest that people you're meeting right now have a bit more of like financial savvy mindset, or they could be also more spiritual because it's Saturn in Pisces. 8th house deals with like sudden events, surprising sort of twists and turns and how you deal with them, right? And so a lot of times like astrology, tarot, Reiki, and other energetic practices can be helpful for dealing with this. Can also suggest that your partner has like a funeral home or they are a doctor. Like you can meet a doctor or someone who like works at a funeral home. Can also be, I'm like this and this and that. But it can also suggest that your partner maybe is dealing with like an inheritance. So they're dealing with matters involving their family. They're just sort of like enmeshed with other people right now. And that of course might affect their mindset and your relationship. There's going to be a lunar eclipse in Pisces on September 17th, and this could represent some kind of culmination financially, right? So not necessarily romantically. Maybe you're paying off a debt. Maybe you're getting out of some kind of loan you've had. You're paying out a loan. But it can also represent some type of shift in your personal finances or a shift in your partner's finances, because 8th house represents other people's money. So some type of like important development involving money, values, joint values in relationship are likely. And healing, this could also be like very healing, especially for those who are single, right? Maybe it's an opportunity to like empty space, let go of the old wounds, and open yourself to new beginnings. Open yourself up. Venus is in Libra from August 29th until September 22nd. She trines Jupiter in the 11th on September 15th. If you're single, this could be a great time to go to a local bar, a local coffee shop, meet up with your friends, do something fun. You're more likely to meet someone through your neighborhood, through a neighbor, through a sibling, through like a friendly gathering, even some kind of like wedding or like a friend's party. And if you're in a relationship, maybe you're double dating or volunteering with your partner or just going on more dates. And then on September 22nd, Venus will enter Scorpio. We'll stay here until October 17th. Venus in Scorpio is a bit more private. You're still romantic and passionate, but a bit more like you want to spend time indoors. You want to hang out with your significant other in private. And if you're single, meeting people through like house parties, through family get-togethers, and through like it could also, you can be meeting people from your hometown. Like if you're going to see your family, maybe you're meeting people that have like similar background. Those people will be more attractive at this point of time. If you're looking for a personal reading, you want to know how compatible you are with your crush, or you're curious to understand your natal relationship potential, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. If you are the beautiful Virgo rising, you are Mercury ruled, and your 7th house is Pisces. Pisces traditionally is Jupiter ruled, so you are Mercury, your partner is Jupiter. And this year you've been having, Saturn. This year, last year, you've also had Saturn in your 7th house, which brings up even more like heavier, commitment oriented, let's learn from our past mistakes and not repeat them again type of energy. Or it might suggest that your partner maybe has been going through some kind of important life forming experience, and maybe that has been affecting your relationship. But you are Mercury, your partner is Jupiter. Back to my original statement. And Jupiter is very slow moving, so let's start with your partner. Jupiter is in Gemini currently. It's your 10th house. It's staying in Gemini from May 25th this year until June 9th next year. So Jupiter is in the 10th house, which could suggest that your partner is very engrossed in their professional development right now. They're focusing on building their career, getting experience under their belt, and maybe that's part of the reason why they're like in this serious place right now, because they're very, very focused. You are Mercury. You just finished the retrograde right at the start of the month. Maybe August felt a little bit confusing, uncertain. You maybe spent a part of it in hiding. And early in the month, Mercury is in Leo, your 12th house. It is direct, but you're still, I think, a little bit more private early in the month. You're maybe leaning into spirituality and self-care and focusing on therapy and healing, and you're like more self-aware. And then after September 9th and until September 26th, Mercury will be in Virgo, your 1st house. And there's going to be a new moon in Virgo on September 2nd. So you are like in this place of like you've learned a lot and now you're ready to apply what you've learned. Maybe you're speaking about your feelings in a relationship. You're expressing yourself. Maybe you are reinventing yourself so that you can attract the perfect partner or the right partner better. But you are also on some level like empowered. You feel like yourself, you're happy with yourself. On September 21st, Mercury will square Jupiter, so you will square off with the partner. And you are in the 1st house, they're in the 10th house. So there might be some kind of disagreement around career. Maybe they're working too much and you're not happy with it. Maybe it could also be a conflict with your boss, to be fair, or like a family member, like a parent maybe. But if you are in a relationship, September 21st definitely can bring some kind of like tension between also like maybe your need for structure and for things to be organized, and your partner having like a bigger view and not caring about the details. Like, they can be throwing things around the apartment and you're like, you're supposed to put them there, and he's like, yeah, but the kids are taken from the kindergarten and I took care of that, and you're like, but this little thing. So watch out for like a little bit of drama at this point. The big thing that's happening for you is the lunar eclipse in Pisces, your 7th house, on September 17th. This is major, right? It's in the house of relationships. It is a completion of some sorts, culmination of something in the relationship sector of your chart. So you're maybe getting engaged, you're maybe getting married, you're maybe getting separated if the relationship hasn't been going well, right? Because there's Neptune there, and Neptune is conjunct the eclipse, so there might be a little bit of like dissolution endings, or a very idealistic, very dreamy, let's make things happen type energy. A lot will depend on the individual situation, right? But could be both, like, because it's a completion with a view of new beginnings, because next year we're going to start having North Node in Pisces. After that, sort of solar eclipses in Pisces. I think the first solar eclipse in Pisces is actually in 2026, but North Node will be in Pisces. So there will be new beginnings there, like really big new beginnings. So either ending one relationship in order to open yourself to the new one that is more appropriate, more aligned with who you are, or committing to staying together, getting engaged, moving things forward is very likely here. So let's see what else. Venus is in Libra, your 2nd house, between August 29th and September 22nd. Venus in Libra is in her home sign. This could be beautiful for like getting more gifts, more compliments, more bonuses. Maybe your partner is more generous with you. Between September 22nd and October 17th, Venus is in Scorpio. For the singles, it's a great time to put yourself out there, go out in your neighborhood, meet your neighbors, hang out with them. You don't know, they might introduce you to someone. If you're in a relationship, go out in your neighborhood, check out a local spot. You might enjoy it. And another big thing that's happening is Pluto coming back to Capricorn, your 5th house, between September 1st and November 19th. Pluto has been in Capricorn since 2008, so chances are it has taught you to face some shadows. You may have dealt with some obsessive thoughts, jealousy, insecurity, fears around parenthood, children. And so Pluto in Capricorn for the next 2.5 months might invite you to acknowledge all the progress you have made and maybe heal things or say things that haven't been said yet. So it can offer opportunities for like deeper connection, honesty, intimacy, but you got to be brave to express feelings honestly. Please share how this resonates. If you're looking for more, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. Okay. Just feel like my head is bumping the top of the view. Okay, now if you are the lovely Libra rising, you are Venus, they are Mars. August was rough, right? You being Venus, you were ruled by Venus in her fall in the 12th house. She was ruled by Mercury retrograde. So there could have been a sense of confusion, frustration, little details not working out, being annoyed by little things. Things are better in September. Venus, you are in Libra, in her domain. You feel empowered, you feel stylish, you feel beautiful. Early in the month, we still have Venus trining Pluto, so very kind of like passionate, sexual, charming energy. On the 15th of September, she trines Jupiter in the 9th. Maybe you're planning a romantic getaway. Maybe you're talking to someone from another country if you're single, right? Maybe you're like doing Bumble abroad while you're not abroad. Or maybe you are. Maybe you're traveling and you're meeting someone foreign. Or if you're in a relationship, you're maybe talking about like making things official, because 9th house is also the house of legal matters and Jupiter is hanging out there. Or you're planning a trip, or you're taking a class together with your partner and just like having a good time, right? So there's a lot of focus on like you, your desires, your identity, and all the while you're also shedding things. You're shedding superficial things and you're choosing more spiritual pursuits. There is an eclipse in your 1st house on October 2nd, another opportunity to connect with your like deep desires and get in touch with your sort of true passions. Mars enters Cancer from September 4th until November 3rd. It will be in Cancer, your 10th house. Your partner is Mars, right? So Mars going into Cancer might suggest that the partner is going to work hard, right? They're like working, they're maybe stressing about work. Sometimes Mars in Cancer might suggest that your partner like really is in a position at work where they like need to fight and they need to assert themselves. Maybe they're a lawyer, maybe they're a business owner, maybe they're just like needing to speak up for something, but because Mars in Cancer is in its fall, I highly recommend my Exalted Mars candle or Mars Kazemi. For this period, help yourself, help your partner. But like, so Mars in Cancer might suggest that the partner feels a lot of frustration, but they don't know how to express it. And so it can burn loved ones, right? Like it can end up sort of turning into like the bursts at home, or they get upset with you while in reality they're upset about something else. So the partner might be in a bit of a tough spot, and like any relationship tensions you experience this month might be connected to sort of like they need to learn how to handle their stuff, right? Their things, their feelings, their anger. So be careful of that. It can also affect you and your drive and motivation, but we're talking about the partner. And Mars being in Cancer too can suggest that if you're single, you're more likely to meet someone at work because the partner will be in the house of work for the next 2 months. So meeting someone through your job, dating a boss or a colleague is more likely. On September 22nd, Venus enters Scorpio. Your second house will stay here until October 17th. It suggests that your focus goes towards money. Maybe you're focused on setting some money aside for that vacation I mentioned, or you're just working really hard. You're maybe investing into your passions and spending money on beauty, updating your wardrobe and things like that. And then on the 17th of, well, actually even before then, between like 20th and 22nd, Venus in Libra will square Pluto in your 4th house. So this can reveal some sort of shadows, tensions, drama involving home, family, and childhood. You may get in a fight with your partner and later realize that it's about your dad not loving you enough or your dad being critical and you're projecting something. So watch out between like the 20th, 22nd of the month. Some intense feelings might be bubbling up, bursting to the surface. And the lunar eclipse on September 17th, it does occur in your 6th house. So it might suggest that you're overcoming some kind of health situation, that you're changing your work protocols, and you are perhaps, if let's say in a relationship, you're maybe also changing some dynamics around health and your everyday life and who does what in the household and like how do you take care of the errands and stuff. I will leave you at the stuff. Share how it resonates. If you're looking for more, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. I'd be happy to talk about your relationship, your year coming up, or your natal chart. Moving on to the beautiful Scorpio rising. You are Mars, your partner is Venus. So Scorpio is ruled by Mars, opposite is Taurus, ruled by Venus, right? So Mars, you, enters Cancer on September 4th. And will stay in Cancer on and off until April 18th. It will dip into Leo from November 3rd until January 6th, but it will be in Cancer for a while. And it's going to go retrograde on December 6th as well, but we'll get there when we get there. So anyways, Mars enters Cancer, you go into Cancer. This might suggest that you are focusing on growth. And because Cancer is family-oriented, it's care-oriented, it wants to nurture. Maybe you're learning something about healthcare, healing, maybe you're taking classes on parenthood. If you're pregnant, the lunar eclipse in the 5th house on September 17th brings like major culmination to your house of babies. So pregnancy. Are you pregnant, Scorpio rising? Are you planning to be pregnant? But pregnancy is highly likely, birth of something is highly likely. With this lunar eclipse, or even like starting a journey of trying to get pregnant, because the Pisces North Node will stay in your 5th house until 2026. So there's a lot of baby potential here. But so Mars is in Cancer, ninth house. You are interested in growing. You're interested in bettering yourself. You're maybe dealing with some kind of legal matters, taking more trips. Mars is in its fall in Cancer. Highly recommend my Exalted Mars candle for you guys for the next 8 months because Mars will be in Cancer for a long time. Because Mars in Cancer is in its fall, which might suggest that you are dealing with a lot of feelings and maybe you're feeling overwhelmed and maybe you're feeling more emotional. But because Mars in Cancer tries to suppress it, you might suppress it until it blows up and like hurts people next to you. You know, your partner gets sort of shocked at what you've been keeping inside. And that to me is also like a bit emphasized by the fact that Venus is in Libra until September 22nd, and this is your 12th house, and Venus is the partner. So like, it's like both of you are, you know, Venus is in rulership in Libra. So she, as a partner, maybe knows how to handle emotions a little bit better. But because she's in the 12th house, she might also, like, the partner might have a tendency to sweep issues under the rug. Sort of like act like everything is fine, but in reality, maybe you're not addressing something that needs to be addressed. So just watch out for this tendency this month to not speak up. If you are single, Venus being in Libra, your 12th house until September 22nd, might suggest that you are more attracted to foreign people, spiritual people, and introverts. And you're more likely to meet them at spiritual retreats, yoga classes, ashrams, sort of creative places too. Maybe some kind of healing, like if you're healing from something, if you're like in recovery and you go to a 12-step program meeting. I know they don't encourage people to date each other there, I don't think, but there is sort of, you're more interested in people who have like been through a lot or people who can teach you something. Watch out, both single and not. Watch out for self-defeating tendencies. Watch out for dating someone who is not good for you, who's like toxic and unavailable and like upsets you more than pleases you. From September 22nd until October 17th, Venus will enter Scorpio, your first house, and this is the time of most charm, your most magnetic, helping you draw in the people and love interests you find desirable. It is the time when you're getting more compliments, you're feeling like your partner appreciates you more and desires you more. It's literally the partner in your first house. Venus rules the house of relationships. It comes in your face, so the partner is like, you are the most charming and beautiful, love you, la la la. So both single, great time. If you're single, you can manifest, and if you're in a relationship, you might experience more affection from your partner. Uranus goes retrograde in Taurus, your 7th house. Uranus is almost out of Taurus. Next year is going to dip into Gemini and then we'll return to Taurus for a little bit and then it's out. But Uranus does go retrograde in Taurus, your 7th house, between September 1st and January 30th. And this could show up in a few ways. If you're single, you may become a bit more introspective in terms of what you want and how your partners, past, future, present, represent what you want and maybe need to do some course correction. If you're in a relationship, some of the old issues might come up that you need to address. Uranus being in the 7th house might represent a partner sort of regressing on some level. It doesn't have to be a bad thing, but they're like maybe dealing with something from the past. Maybe they are being a little bit more introspective, and then also perhaps an ex or two might knock on your door. Yeah, that's another possibility, so beware of that. And of course, I mentioned September 17th, this really big lunar eclipse in Pisces. Pregnancy is one possibility that was mentioned. It can also be the time of some kind of clarity, illumination, change in a romantic relationship where you choose to commit to someone or you choose to let a relationship go. This eclipse represents the start of a new cycle, the cycle that will last through 2025 and into 2026. And so the goal here is to complete something and clear space for new beginnings. So whether you're completing a pregnancy and giving birth to a child so that you can become a proper parent, or you're completing a relationship to open yourself to meeting someone new, or you're moving a relationship to another level so that it becomes more serious. All of that depends on each person. And if you have personal questions you'd like me to answer, book a reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. Looking at your chart will provide a lot more insights and can help me guide you through the transits, relationship challenges, natal chart, and other things you're interested in. Anastasiadoesastrology.com. If you are the beautiful Sagittarius rising, you are Jupiter, your partner is Mercury. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, opposite sign is Gemini, ruled by Mercury. So you are Jupiter. Jupiter is currently in Gemini. From May 25th until June 9th, you are in the house of relationships. You are breathing, eating, smelling, living relationships. Of course, not every single one of you will feel that way. You're still a Sag rising. You're independent and untamable on some levels, right? But Jupiter being in the 7th house is very relationship oriented. It's, if you're single, you're going on more dates, you're maybe creating a Pinterest board of your ideal partner. If you are in a relationship, you're very focused on like them, their needs, their interests. You're maybe traveling to see them more if they're somewhere far away. But like a lot of sort of thoughts go towards relationships. The partner early in the month, you know, Mercury is in Leo. Mercury rules your partner. And Mercury just finished the retrograde. So it might suggest that the partner has been dealing with something. Like in August, maybe they were having a difficult time. Maybe they were like, you know, dealing with some work situation or some legal matter or some kind of travel concern that they were trying to figure out. And now it's better. In September, it feels better. Mercury is direct in the 9th house. So early in the month, your partner might be traveling. There may be taking some kind of exam. There may be passing a written test. If you are single, the first kind of few days of the month, you might also be meeting them through education, through trips. Through like legal matters. Maybe they're a lawyer. Maybe you're attracting a lawyer at this time. Between September 9th and 26th, Mercury, the partner, is in Virgo, the 10th house. And Venus is in Libra until the 22nd of the month. So there is like both kind of your house of career and the house of friendships is highlighted. So I think dating a colleague is a possibility here. Meeting someone through a friend, through a wedding party, or through like a networking event that you go to is likely. A partner might be coming from your job at this time as well. Or the partner may be like really, really focused on the job between September 9th and September 26th while Mercury is in the 10th. You might run into some kind of conflict with them on September 21st when Mercury in the 10th squares Jupiter in the 7th. So it might feel like, you know, because Mercury in Virgo, Mercury rules the partner, between September 9th and September 26th suggests that the partner is like very focused on the job, or they're like, you know, they're on the passion project. They're just sort of very invested into, and you're still Jupiter in the 7th ruled by that Mercury, right? Like I said, for the year or so, you are very much ruled by your relationship. If you're single, maybe this shows up in terms of another relationship, or it shows up in terms of what you're doing to get into a relationship, right? But September 21st creates a sense of discord and challenge, and maybe conflict between you and your partner that involves work. You work too much, they don't like it. They work too much, you don't like it. You disagree about some kind of vision of the future, something you have to talk through. And I wonder, right? We also have the eclipse in Pisces coming up on September 17th, and it happens in your 4th house. And I'm thinking if there is some type of change that needs to be made around home, family, and living situation. If maybe you got a mortgage and you need to, like, I don't know, figure out a better way of paying for it, or you need to move in together, or you need to move out of your parent house so that you can pursue the relationship better. So like the eclipse in Pisces brings attention to like living situation, family involvement in your relationship might be a source of conflict at this time too, as well as some type of realization of outdated patterns, things you've seen your parents do, things you've inherited from your family that you need to work through. The loud siren. Venus enters Scorpio from September 22nd until October 17th, your 12th house. And while this could be a great time if you're in a relationship to get away, to spend some time in a retreat, to maybe do a yoga trip together with your significant other, there are more likely to be opportunities. You're more likely to become clear on what serves you and what doesn't serve you romantically. But a lot of times, in order to understand that, you might make some mistakes. You might be drawn to date people that are not good for you, people you know are not good for you, but they hold some kind of appeal. You know, Venus will be in Scorpio. Venus in Scorpio wants like truth and vulnerability, and she doesn't care for like sort of things that Venus in Libra might care, sort of shallow, glittery things. She wants like raw. So you might find yourself being attracted to like a recovering addict or something, or someone who is married or someone who's not good for you. So just be mindful between September 22nd and October 17th of that tendency to like go for people that are not right. And if you are in a relationship, maybe do get away. And also watch out for a tendency to be a little bit too controlling, obsessive, and that's sabotaging your relationship. If you're curious for more, book a reading on my website. Let's talk about your love life. Let's talk about your year coming up or your relationship compatibility. Anastasia.astrology.com. For the beautiful Capricorn rising, you are Saturn. Saturn has been in your third house since March 2023, suggesting that you are learning, you are writing, you are dealing with some kind of logistical things. You are gaining skills, and maybe you're structuring your schedule and figuring out how to set better boundaries. You're very like structured. Your partner is the moon. The moon is really fast moving, so we're probably not going to focus on the movement of the moon as much. But we're going to look at what else is going on. So there are a couple of really important things that happen right at the front of the month. We have Pluto returning to Capricorn, your first house, offering some kind of final opportunities for empowerment. And you will feel this is strongest if your ascendant is at 28, 29 degrees Capricorn, less so if it's really, really early on. But Pluto coming back to Capricorn is the final accords of the story that started in 2008. It might offer you a chance to speak up about something that bothers you. There might be opportunities to sort of level up, create more balance, more like sort of healthier power dynamics in your relationship, express yourself. So it might affect your life, but also likely to affect relationships, especially if, like I said, your ascendant is very late in Capricorn. On the 1st, we also have Uranus going retrograde in Taurus, your 5th house. And this affects your house of pleasure, romance, children. And so Uranus retrograding here on some level might just be a sign that you're becoming more introspective, but also potentially that you're looking back to something, right? If you're single, you're looking back at the relationship past, wondering how to make things better in the future. Maybe an ex is coming into your life. If you're in a relationship, maybe you're looking for ways to reignite the sparks in your relationship if you feel like those have been lacking. Maybe a child needs more attention. Maybe you're trying to figure out how to have a good time and you're like young parents and it's really hard to find time for just the two of you. So scheduling dates, being more introspective, dealing with like pregnancy, trying to get pregnant, using technology, IVF, things like that to get pregnant are very possible here. So looking at Venus, the planet of love, until September 22nd, she's in Libra, your 10th house, might suggest that you are more likely to meet someone through your job. You might date a boss, or you might be drawn to people who are highly ambitious at this point and highly sort of successful, or they have drive and desires, and maybe people who are beautiful too. And if you're in a relationship, maybe you're working together with your partner towards something, or you're just like in this place right now when you're focused on working really hard. And then from September 22nd until October 17th, Venus will be in Scorpio, your 11th house, and going out more, networking more might bring romantic interest into your life. Going to weddings, going to parties, you're more likely to be invited more places, and that's where you may meet someone, or you may just be enjoying hanging out with your partner, going to these different like weddings, events, parties, and connecting with them. On September 17th, we get the lunar eclipse in Pisces, your 3rd house. This can bring some type of change to a situation involving communication, involving education, travel. So it could be, it could be romantic, or it could be connected to like something else in your life, something more mundane and schedule related. But since we are talking about love, I can also see this as an opportunity to speak up, especially if you haven't been expressing yourself. Let's be honest, you're a Capricorn rising, so upon the first meeting, you are very Saturnian, very sort of hard, have a hard shell around you. But your 7th house of relationships is Cancer, so you're very soft. And maybe at times you don't like fighting, or you don't like speaking up and shaking the boat. You're trying to make things sort of soft and easy. And so the lunar eclipse in Pisces in the 3rd might suggest that there is a need to express something and have an honest conversation, and that honest conversation can reveal the truth of whether a relationship has potential or it doesn't. Please share how it resonates. If you're looking for a personal reading, book one on my website, Anastasia.astrology.com. If you are the unique Aquarius rising, you are Saturn ruled. I'm a traditional astrologer. I use Saturn as the ruler of Aquarius, and Saturn has been in Pisces since March 2023. It's in your 2nd house. You are money, work focused right now. You are in this place in your life where you are trying to find more stability. You're maybe choosing different careers that offer not only a good paycheck, but also spiritual satisfaction. But you're like on some level very kind of focused on your values and your finances. Early in the month, because your 7th house is Leo, ruled by the sun, your partner is the sun. Early in the month, sun is in Virgo, your 8th house. So the partner is actually very financially oriented too, especially until September 22nd, while the sun is in Virgo. There may be making financial moves. Maybe you together are like talking about the future, starting a joint savings account, figuring out how to like bring your values together to agree on things. And then from September 22nd until October 22nd, the sun is in Libra, 9th house. And that might suggest that your partner is more likely to travel. Maybe they're dealing with some kind of education, legal matters, logistical issues. And if you're single, until September 22nd, you may be meeting a partner through... So there is a couple of possibilities, right? Like this month, let's say this month, meeting someone through like financial institutions, someone who works in finance, someone who's a doctor, a lawyer, someone you meet through perhaps a bit of an emergency, surprising type of situation, or someone you meet in a faraway land. So Venus is also in Libra, your 9th house, and she trines Jupiter in the 5th house on September 15th. So meeting someone in a faraway destination, you're traveling, you meet them there. Starting to date a teacher, starting to date like some kind of who's very philosophical and inspiring. Maybe they're a foreigner is quite possible. If you're in a relationship, you're maybe getting away. Especially around the middle of the month, it's a great time to take like a romantic trip, get away. Maybe you're like even, focusing on conceiving a child. There could be both like romance and some kind of purpose involved, but middle of the month looks really nice for that. And then on September 22nd, Venus will enter Scorpio, your 10th house, and perhaps you are coming back to work. If you're single, maybe you're getting a crush on someone you work with, or if you're in a relationship, maybe you're just more work focused, or you're working on like building a better future for yourself and your partner. There's also a lot of focus on money this month, and I think figuring out, and I already mentioned that, but like trying to figure out how your goals mesh together with your partner's goals, how your lifestyle meshes with their lifestyle, how your income right now connects with their income. The sun is in Virgo, 8th house. There's a new moon here on September 2nd, and you're very much like joining forces with your significant other. You're like figuring out how to create better balance, starting a bank account together, making an investment together, maybe even buying a home or investing into improving your home. Uranus goes retrograde in Taurus early in the month, which suggests some type of like reflection, change, introspection involving your living situation. And then the lunar eclipse in Pisces on the second house, in your second house on September 17th, I think reflects changes in your personal finances in response to what's going on in terms of debts, loans, inheritance, money you're waiting for, partner's money, your joint resources, and offers you a chance to, it could be, you know, this could be financial and like professional. Maybe you get a job you've been looking for, you let go of a job and you like transform your finances. But it can also be, once again, some type of like opportunity to rethink your values and your priorities and how and what is really important to you and what is worth compromising on and what is not worth compromising on before you move too far forward, too deep into a relationship. If you're looking for a personal reading, book one on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. I'd be happy to talk about your love life, your relationship, your year to come, or your natal chart. If you are the dreamy Pisces, you are Jupiter. Pisces is traditionally ruled by Jupiter. Your partner is Mercury. So as a Jupiter, we're looking at what Jupiter is doing. And Jupiter has been in Gemini, your 4th house, from May 25th. And all the way will stay there until June 9th. And a lot of your focus is currently on building more comfort in your life. You're more focused on creating stability, whether that means alone so that you can welcome a new relationship, or that means in a relationship. You're maybe thinking a lot about moving in together, kind of starting a family with your partner, and sort of a lot of your attention goes towards building and gaining resources and doing things that can allow you to do that. Your partner is Mercury, because the opposite of Pisces is Virgo. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. And so in August, your partner, Mercury, your partner, was retrograde. And so the partner may have dealt with some kind of confusion. They may have dealt with a lot more mishaps and frustrations. And partner can also mean someone in your life who's not a romantic interest. But since we're talking about a romantic interest, maybe that's what was happening. And then if you're single, you may have also dealt with an ex or two coming into your life, because retrograde was happening in your 7th house of relationships. So did you have an ex knock on your door back in August? So this month, Mercury is direct, which means your partner has maybe a bit more forward momentum. They're determined, they're getting things done. Between September 1st, September 9th, Mercury is in Leo's 6th house. And if you're in a relationship, your partner might be like working really hard, addressing health issues, problem solving, taking action. If you're single, maybe you're more likely to meet someone through doing laundry, running errands, doing some kind of like productive things. You might run into them at the laundromat or something like that. And then from September 9th until September 26th, your partner is very empowered. Mercury will be in Virgo. Mercury will be direct. Virgo, in fact, is highlighted all month for you, or at least until September 26th, because the sun is here until the 22nd, and then Mercury from the 9th until the 26th. And there's a new moon here, too. So new relationship beginnings come this month for sure. And those might involve starting a new relationship. If you're single, you're maybe meeting someone new who has potential, or having serious conversations, celebrating some kind of milestone, moving a relationship forward, getting engaged, getting married, moving in together, right? Like a lot of exciting possibilities are here. But the fact that Mercury is in rulership from the 9th until the 26th suggests that the partner has sort of more power to them. There's also a lot of focus on your 8th house this month with Venus until September 22nd and Mercury from the 26th until October 13th. The Sun is also here. And maybe you're trying to pay off some debts and gather resources in order to afford these new changes that you're planning to create in your life. And maybe you're starting a joint bank account, or you're like even spending more money on your partner, or maybe you're benefiting through your partner, right? That is another possibility when there's strong 8th house transits. Like the partner gets a raise because they've been working so hard and they take you out and you have a good time. Venus in the 8th will trine Jupiter in your 4th on September 15th. And that's interesting because that's also like another opportunity, a resource, a connection you need to move in with your significant other or get a mortgage. Some type of interesting development is possible here. And if you're single, Venus in the 8th house might suggest that you're healing, that you're maybe exploring spiritual interests. Maybe you're meeting someone who has like similar spiritual interests to you, or you're meeting someone through financial dealings that you're focusing on, like you're paying off a debt, or you're starting an IRA, or you're looking for an insurance, and then you strike a conversation with somebody who helps you do that. Another big transit that's happening this month is Mars enters Cancer, your 5th house, on September 4th. Will stay here until November 3rd. And that Mars in Cancer can be very passionate. You are sort of driven to have sex and have a good time and maybe, date more. Mars in Cancer is very loyal, very focused on having a stable relationship. So even though you want a relationship, you might not settle for something that's just like one night stand or something like that. Mars is in its fall in Cancer. So you may need to be careful in terms of people you attract, in terms of conflicts, right? Sometimes the tendency with Mars in its fall is to not express frustration, and then it bursts and you burst into flames and you like spit fire at people around you. So watch out for that. And like be careful also getting involved in like competitive activities around the next couple of months. Like make sure you stretch and do not rush places, and also like beware that your energy might go up and down, and you really need to listen to that. You need to pay attention to how much energy you have. Venus enters Scorpio on September 22nd until October 17th. You are more interested in getting away with your partner. You're traveling together. You're planning a trip together. You're taking classes together. There's also a chance that your partner might be traveling, or that you are traveling and meeting someone while away. You're maybe sort of more interested in foreign people, or more likely to meet someone while you're on vacation. And the biggest transit, of course, is the lunar eclipse in Pisces on September 17th. And it could be connected. It's some kind of like personal change, personal transformation, release of your old self. And because the moon is in Pisces and the sun is in Virgo in your 7th house, the change might be connected to relationship transformations, right? You get engaged and you need to let go of your old job, old apartment to move in with your significant other, or you're letting go of a job because you're moving to another country together. So there might be an opportunity to sort of dissolve an old image of yourself in order to open yourself up to new beginnings. Or maybe even, once again, like if you're single, you're maybe completing a chapter, maybe you're examining your desires, you're getting more clear on what you want and closing something, right? Like releasing outdated beliefs about yourself, working on building confidence, self-growth, so that you can be more ready to meet the person that is right for you. If you're looking for a personal reading, book one on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. I'd be happy to look at your natal chart, your year to come, or your relationship. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching and for supporting me with likes, comments, subscribe if you haven't yet. I hope you're excited for the eclipse season and Venus and Libra and all the other good things. And I will talk to you very soon. Bye.